A few days ago, this past week, on December 7th, we observed Pearl Harbor Day, a very significant day, the day 75 years ago when Japan bombed Pearl Harbor and plunged the world into a Second World War. That bombing revealed the military vulnerability of America, but it also revealed another vulnerability. Our democracy is a people's democracy, and the people are easily stampeded. The horror of the bombing of Pearl Harbor swept through this country, and there was a wave of war hysteria and racism directed at Americans of Japanese ancestry. Overnight, we who looked like people who bombed Pearl Harbor were looked at with suspicion and fear and outright hostility, simply because we looked like the people that bombed Pearl Harbor. That hysteria swept across this country, and it revealed how vital leadership from the community, and particularly from the elected officials, are to a people's democracy. And at that time, the political leadership failed. Here in California, we had an attorney general. He knew the law. He knew the Constitution. He was the top lawyer of the state of California. But he was ambitious. He wanted to run for governor. And he saw that the single most popular issue in California in the early 40s was the lock up the Japanese movement. And so this attorney, who knew the law, who knew the Constitution, got in front of the lock up the Japanese movement. And he made an amazing statement. He said, "We have no reports of sabotage or spying or fifth column activities by Japanese Americans." And that is ominous, because the Japanese are inscrutable. You don't know what they're thinking. And so it will be prudent to lock them up before they do anything. So for this attorney, the absence of evidence was the evidence. And that fed into the hysteria of that period. And that hysteria went all the way up to the top leadership of the nation, the presidency of the United States, when President Roosevelt ordered all Japanese Americans on the West Coast, approximately 120,000 of us, to be summarily rounded up and put in barbed wire prison camps. That attorney ran for governor and won a resounding victory. He was reelected twice, and then he went on to be named the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States. His name is Earl Warren, who goes down in history as the great liberal Supreme Court Chief Justice. I'd like to think he was that because he was stricken by guilt, his conscience, for what he did right before the war. But this is how vulnerable a people's democracy is. Our democracy can do great things, as we well know. The founding of this country on the shining ideals. But the people are fallible human beings. And so it is important that we be mindful of that. We are in a changed world today, and that change is personified by our new Attorney General, Javier Becerra, from whom you just heard. He has been a strong and audible voice for what is right, what is just. And he will be an equally strong Attorney General for the state. You heard from Ted Lieu, congressman, as a matter of fact, my congressman in the United States Congress. I knew him before he was a congressman. He was an assemblyman, but I knew him from before the time he was served in the California Assembly. He was an active leader in the the Asian American community. And the fact that you have people like that standing for the Muslim Public Affairs Council is very strengthening. And I'm proud to stand with them in support of MPAC, because MPAC has been serving the community for 30 years now, making a strong stand for diversity of the people, of many different ethnicities, of many different faiths, of many different cultures, and that infinite diversity in infinite combination, working together in concert, because that is the strength of our system. Good people working together, organized and speaking loudly and clearly, engaged with the democratic process. That is what's going to make this circumstance today different. We are all standing strong with the Muslim Public Affairs Council. When I heard that first trial balloon a few weeks ago from Carl Higbee, a surrogate for the Trump administration, or Trump transition team, I knew exactly what was going to be coming down. He talked about a Muslim registry, which was a chilling echo for me, because back in the 40s, they had a Japanese-American database. They're using the word registry, but it's the same thing as what came down on us, a database, where they knew where we were, how many lived in that household, and what we did. And after they had a database, they came down with a curfew. All Japanese Americans had to be home by 7 p.m. and stay at home until 6 a.m. We were imprisoned at night in our homes. And then we discovered that our bank accounts were frozen. Our life savings became inaccessible. And that was followed by the soldiers coming to take us away. That must never happen again today. And so I am proud to be here with you tonight and see the kind of strength that the Muslim Affairs Council has, the contributions that have been made, and my husband and I have made our contribution to supporting the Impact program. We are here as Americans who believed in the cherished ideals of our people's democracy. And we, the people, will sing out in concert that we are Americans proud of our American ideals, and we will never forsake them. Thank you very much for what you are doing.